Hello again. The day after the loss to City on penalties for the Community Shield, and obviously frustrating. Obviously, we all wanted to win, but when a game goes to penalties, it is mainly down to luck. And I don't think we can be too disappointed. I don't think the overreaction I'm seeing on social media since the game finished about the game is justified. When you take a game against City to penalties, you can't be that disappointed if it doesn't go your way. And the truth is that even though the first 30-35 minutes were hard to watch for any United fan, I think that after that we were the better team for most of the game. We created better chances, we created enough chances to win the game, good chances. We were good when we had the ball, we were disciplined and compact when we didn't have the ball and didn't have very many dangerous situations. So overall, I think it is a positive performance that should give us a positive feeling going into the start of the Premier League season next Friday against Fulham. And I also don't think that there is any reason to be too critical or too negative when it comes to the substitutions that Ten Hag made during yesterday's game. I believe that his main focus in regards to the players that he changed was not to win the game, was not tactical purposes. His main focus when he made those substitutions was fitness, precaution, and how ready certain players are to play more than the minutes that they played. And we need to remember and we need to understand that Friday's game against Fulham is far more important than yesterday's game. We remember how we started the season last season. It was the first game against Wolves at Old Trafford, and even though most people will say that what happened last season is mainly down to injuries, the first game of the season we had most of the players available. We played terribly. We didn't even deserve to win the game, which we won at the end. And that game showed us exactly what we were going to get, what we were going to see from United throughout the season. Friday's game, the result and the performance are very, very important. Yesterday's game was not. So overall, in my opinion, a good performance and a good last test just before the start of the new Premier League campaign. And it is also very important to remember that players like Ahmad, Mason Mount, who hopefully can stay fit, the same for Luke Shaw, the same for Lisandro Martinez. Last season, for the first 2 or 3 months, we didn't even have Kobe Mainoo available. All these players, if they can stay fit, they will feel like new signings. So personally, I am feeling cautiously optimistic, more than I did before yesterday's game. I am feeling a bit more optimistic going into Friday's game and going into this new season now. But I will feel a lot better if United, until the end of the transfer window, manage to get 1 or 2 additions for our midfield, because that is an area that we definitely still need more quality. We still need strengthening. Also, we got reports last week about United turning their attention and focus away from Manuel Ugarte and looking at alternative options for the midfield, since they are not willing to pay what his current club, PSG, are demanding. The main names that have been reported to be what United are considering as possible alternatives are Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad, Youssouf Fofana from Monaco, and Danish international Sander Berge. And obviously, like every single time, a lot of people on social media have suddenly become experts, top experts on all of these players. Personally, I find it quite embarrassing when grown adults have passionate opinions on players they have obviously never properly seen up to now play football. And this trend of having passionate opinions about everything is a result of ignorance, laziness, and a desperate need for attention. Suddenly, in a matter of just a few weeks, players like Ugarte and Subimendi have become world-class midfielders that Manchester United should definitely try and get. And at the same time, players like Sander Berge are completely useless. Now, I haven't done enough research to have a proper analytical, detailed opinion on these three players. And I am not saying that Ugarte or Zubimendi are bad players, the same way I am not saying that Sander Berge is a world-class midfielder that is going to change Manchester United. But most of these opinions that you are receiving from social media and YouTube are based on nonsense. I have lost count of the times I have heard or read people say that Sander Berge is a terrible choice because he comes from a team that got relegated. And a simple question: do you know a player that used to play for United called Roy Keane? And United signed Roy Keane after he was relegated with Nottingham Forest. And they actually paid a record transfer fee to get him. So can you imagine what would have happened? Can you imagine the reaction if back in, I think it was 1993, there was social media? Can you imagine what would have been said and written about United paying a record transfer fee to get a midfielder from a relegated Nottingham Forest side? Now listen, obviously I am not comparing Sander Berge and Roy Keane. Absolutely not, in no way. But my point is this: a player being relegated with another team is not how you decide if that player is good enough or not. That is nonsense. So stop basing your opinion, or stop listening to people whose opinions are not based on research. And especially stop basing your opinions and your thoughts on people whose everyday purpose and everyday job is to somehow say or write something that will get your attention. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your amazing continuous support on every platform. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again, and I will see you all very soon. Glory, glory, Man United. Goodbye.